Hey, what's up? I'm Liz, the Split City DIY, and today we're going to be doing some traditional DIY specifically to my desk right here. Now, the main goal of today is going to be to just kind of clean up my desk. I've got some clutter on it that I've been meaning to take care of, but I also want to make the cable management a little bit better. And one of the ways I'm going to do that is specifically with my sound card, which is a USB audio interface, an M-Box actually, which is an Avid interface. I got a ton of cables coming out of that little box. I've got XLR cables that kind of can go anywhere, and I want to keep that available to kind of go everywhere because I'll be miking up my amps. They're over here, or I might have someone like doing vocal tracks and they could be anywhere. And then I've also got cables that go to my speakers that are up here, and I've also got headphones. I've got a cable that goes out to hook up to the audio powered lights inside my computer. And then, of course, there's a USB cable that's to get to my computer. So basically, there's just a lot of cables going on. And I do have a cable cut through that came with the desk in the middle, but that's more often than not, it's occupied by like my mouse and my keyboard and my MIDI cable for my keyboard and my monitor cables and just a lot of cables. So it's really crowded. So like I route some of the cables right now from the M-Box down through that hole, but it's tight, and then the rest of them kind of just go off to the side of my desk, which isn't great, you know. They're just kind of like hanging down, or I'm trying to route them around my desk, and it's a little messy. It's a little messier than I prefer, because I do have a cable caddy that's kind of like built into my desk underneath, which is really nice, and I'm not using the full cable management advantages of this desk right now, and I would like to. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be drilling out a hole in the corner of the desk here so that I can run those cables, those audio cables basically, through there and have it look a little cleaner. I'll also be able to have then my M-Box sit a little further back into kind of this little cubby underneath the shelving. Ooh, Lego guy. And that'll be good. And that will kind of give me a little bit more of a work area here when I'm doing things with Arduino or other kind of projects, or even when I'm just doing like, you know, adult things like paying bills and making sure I have money. So that's going to be the main thing for today. That's going to involve taking everything off the desk. Luckily the shelf thing, it just lifts up, it's not attached. And then I'm going to be drilling out the hole, doing a ton of cable management, and hopefully get everything looking a little bit more organized, because I'm going to be showing you kind of what the desk looks like right now, because there are some things I actually specifically hide when I'm filming a video, and I don't want to have to worry about hiding stuff. I don't want to have to be like, oh, well, don't get that in the shot, and oh, don't do this shot. These shelves, it's honestly, it's a side effect of when I moved in. Like, that's just kind of where I threw stuff. That's where I'd always been before, when I was in my previous living arrangement, and I just kind of left it there. And like, you've got like computer printer paper, some blank CDs. I mean, there's like software cases like I'm not using, but it's kind of like a side effect of being an adult. You have to like hold on to these things, and it's like, what do I actually do with them? Do I actually need them? I mean, clearly we need Pusheen on the desk, if nothing else. Like, Pusheen will be staying no matter what. But yeah, so I'm gonna find a better spot for that, I think, actually, because we're gonna come around. So see there, that shelf, and then that shelf, that's all of my like electronic stuff, which I use a decent amount. And so I think I'm basically gonna be swapping the stuff that's on these two shelves with stuff that's on these two shelves, because what's sad is like the stuff that's on the front shelves here, I'm not really accessing, I'm not using, so it's just like sitting there being annoying. So go fix that. And then heinous thing happens here and comes down, and oh no, just oh no. The I/O of my computer is definitely like a pain point. But I'm showing this because I think some people think like, oh, you know, my desk is messy and I should be ashamed of myself. But like, nah, everyone has a mess. I'm just gonna try to improve it, maybe give you some ideas how you could improve your setup. I feel like there's a lot of things out there like, oh, here's what an awesome setup looks like. If yours doesn't look like this, then oh, it's terrible. But you know, there isn't a lot of things like, well, here's how you can make it better, you know? Okay, so here's the desk. and it's standing up right now vertically, as you can see, and there's my drill. So basically the hole is going right in here, but as you can see there's this bar here and my drill just doesn't fit in there, so I'm not going to be able to drill from the bottom. And I can't quite remember how to get the cable caddy off, and I'm not really into doing like possibly more damage to the desk. So what I'm going to do is actually drill from the top. So I'm going to flip the desk back around the proper way, but basically as you see I've used masking tape to kind of try to protect it as much as possible. And then these lines, what I did was I measured the thickness of this piece and this piece here, and then added about a ½ inch to each side and marked on the tape, and then I traced the hole of the hole bit so that I kind of know where I'm going, and try to line it up as much as possible with the desk grommet that's already in there. So that's where I'm going to be drilling. I just wanted to show you the drill real quick, kind of what I'm going to be doing. My apartment's a mess right now, so if you see a mess, like it's basically the contents of my desk and everything I had to move. So this is the drill. It's my dad's drill. He's super thrilled I'm borrowing it, not at all. So these are the hole bits I was telling you about. They're by Black & Decker. I got them for about 12 bucks. Not bad at all. They're good for wood and PVC, which again, awesome. Comes with the bit you see right here, and then there's different sizes, as you can see on the packaging. Got 1 1/4, 1 1/2, 2 inch, 2 1/8. I'm doing 2 1/8. Right there is the biggest one, and basically there's a little bolt it comes with, and you screw in the whole part. I don't know the technical terms, I'm sorry guys. But basically, yeah, and it drills out a hole. I really wish I'd had something, come on focus. I put autofocus on here, it's not my favorite. I wish I'd had these when I did my other video where I've used this drill, where I made that production cart. If you've been a long-time viewer, you remember that. If you haven't been a long-time viewer, you have no idea what I'm talking about, and I honestly don't even recommend that you go seek it out unless you want something to laugh at for a bit. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay. Alright, so there we have the hole. Pretty exciting stuff. It went fairly smoothly. As you can see, this is an IKEA desk, so I was surprised, yet also not surprised to find that the majority of this is actually cardboard. So this was actually what was at the bottom, kind of like this plastic resin thing, and actually, as you can see, it took off a little bit around the edges, so I was kind of glad I actually drilled from the top. I think the masking tape did a great job. I haven't pulled that back yet to fully see how it looks, but I think it did a great job of protecting the top of the desk, so definitely recommend doing that. I'm glad it did that. It's in the perfect position. Trying to get a shot, show you that it's lined up with the other grommet, so that's nice. Here's the stuff that came out of the desk, cardboard, a little bit of corkboard, but that's about it. What I ended up doing, as you saw in the video, I ended up just I drill a little bit and vacuum, and drill a little bit and vacuum. I definitely, no matter where the hell you're living, get one of these tiny little vacuums just to help out. But just so you can see the hole from the bottom, not bad. It's a perfect hole. I'm actually seeing a little bit of sawdust on the top. You can't really see because of the angle, but nice. I think it's going to do really well for routing cables. I was a little nervous doing this, but yeah, it went well. Definitely recommend those Black & Decker things for the drill. I'll link those down below because they're really awesome buy. I did get them from Amazon, so yeah, now all this left is just put everything back together. That won't take long at all. Alright, so that was a lot of work, but it was totally worth it. I feel like my desk right now just looks really awesome, and I'm really happy with how the hole drilling went. I wasn't sure if it would work. I knew it was a calculated risk, but it worked really nicely, and the cable cubby I was able to get for it too was an awesome find, and so the cables are able to route through there really nicely now, and it really cleans up the whole audio interface area of my desk. Also have like a pretty decent, nice working space now there as well. Cleaning up the shelves was really easy too. Swapping the spots where things were, basically everything that was in the back, bring it to the front and vice versa. Everything fits really nicely. It fits actually better than it did before. I'm not sure why I never thought to just switch it, but hey. One thing I did that I recommend everyone do, I labeled all of my cables. So all of the power cables are labeled now. I used washi tape. And so that's all set, and so that means if I need to unplug something, I know what I'm unplugging instead of like kind of shaking the cable and seeing if the thing I want to unplug moves. That used to be my old technique, not great. I did the same thing with the USB cables too, because once you have all your USBs plugged in, everything basically looks the same. So that's all set. And I also have all the USB peripherals that I use on a regular basis plugged in now permanently, so I don't have to worry about kind of finding where things are or leaving things kind of in a rat's nest. A couple things I also mounted to my desk, like my SD card reader and my backup drive. So that's all set now, and I used to honestly just kind of let them flop on top of my computer. So now that they're kind of mounted and nice, I don't have to worry about that. My computer doesn't have anything obstructing airflow either, which is pretty good. So yeah, like I said, a lot of work. Not gonna lie to you, it took me a couple hours. But I think it's worth it because now everything is routed nicely. I know where all the cables are. I know where everything is, and it just looks nice. It kind of gives you that like kind of calm feeling. I don't know if you know, others of you out there experience that when everything's nice and neat and organized, but that's definitely what the setup's vibing right now. One last thing I did, put some 3M hooks on the side of the desk. And that's so I can have 2 USB cables pre-routed to the audio interface and all coiled up, so when I want to record I can just grab them and be good to go. And then the third one, I put my headphones on because otherwise my headphones were basically on the floor or on my desk, more often than on the floor. And I feel like a lot of people do that with their headphones, so you know, get them off the floor, get them nice. And the 3M hook I got was like the cheap one, like the cheap like big ones, so it's like $4, and that's not too bad. Compared to like some people buy like actual headphone stands, which are like money. So there are cheap ways to do these things, you know. I think there's a lot of people that will kind of push like, oh, get this, you know, it looks nice. But you can definitely clean up your setup on a budget and get it all nice and neat without spending too much cash, which is really the mission of this channel, to get stuff done yourself on the cheap. So with that, it's been another episode of Blitz City DIY. If you liked the video, toss me a thumbs up. If you hated it, toss me a thumbs down. Leave your questions and comments below. Let me know, are you into the whole setup thing? Do you make sure your cables are routed all nice, or do you not care at all? Do you just throw everything on your desk and hope for the best? Let me know. Find me on social media. Links are down in the description. Thank you for watching, and until next time, this has been Blitz City DIY.